From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, Game Face time here with Coach Campo, brought to you by our friends at Hot Spring Spas, only on The Horse's Mouth here at my bar at Tommy Mac's. And we're talking to one of our favorites in a return visit, Matt Hayes from 1010XL. Of course, him and Coach Joe C. and Big Sirs are all part of XL Prime Time on 1010XL. And Matt's here to join us for a little bit with Coach. How you doing, brother?
Great, Tommy.
Good to see you. Welcome back.
Good to be back,
Coach,
Tommy.
how you doing?
Good.
Welcome
Good.
back to you as well.
Thank
You're
you.
looking fine and
Appreciate
fit, my friend.
Hey, yep.
Absolutely. All right, so the group, XL Primetime, doing good, man. You guys all seem to banter well off one another. The dynamic's really really good inside that room.
It's grown. It's grown, and Dave has been a big part of that, too. So,
Absolutely.
And I think we all like each other, genuinely like each other.
Yeah,
and
which is
helps.
important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you want to like the people you're talking to.
Plus, we all have different views.
Yeah.
We are not the
Which
same,
is
which
what
is
makes
good.
it great. Yeah, we got to have different views.
Plus the whole thing with me is, which he would agree with, I'm sure, is that the one thing I miss about coaching is the team.
Yeah.
And they welcomed me in, and I'm just part of it, and it's great. It's my team.
He misses the competition, too, which that gives him a little bit when you go the back and
Absolutely.
forth. You know?
Now, Matt, I know you do a ton with college football, right? One of the hardest things to evaluate is, can that talent make the transition?
Right.
Because in college, they can look great. They're just bigger, stronger, faster than the guy across from them. They dominate. They look unbelievable. You're like, holy cow, he's done it 4 games in a row. And maybe you're not going to see that guy across from you in the NFL. It's hard to evaluate. Do you find it hard to evaluate? Or do you sit there like let me give you an example. Mason Graham. I only seen his highlights. He moves extremely well for a big dude.
Yeah.
His hands, his feet, and his hips, the way he can turn, the way he can use his hands and get upfield and run laterally for a 325-pound man is very, very impressive. Does that highlight match his playing ability, in your opinion?
So, yes, it does.
Not
for
that
him,
you watch him
for him
every
specifically,
week.
yes.
I know you don't watch him every week.
I will say this. Anybody who watched that Super Bowl and you watch that Eagles defense, look at their defensive line. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. Beast. Those are all guys that played at a high level in the best conference in college football.
You're right.
So I look at guys like that. Like I look at guys in the SEC and the Big Ten. Those guys, if they play at a high level, especially the big guys, the interior linemen, then I know they're going to play well in the NFL. It's different with corners and wide receivers. You know that. Those guys are hit and miss.
Absolutely.
But the big guys where the game is won, which is everything, that's where I would go to get those big guys. And I'm not taking chances on guys that have injuries. I'm not taking chances on guys that played 4 games this year or didn't play well a couple years, and all of a sudden, boom, their third year they played great because it's a money year. They know it's NFL contract money year. So I'm taking guys who consistently do it and look good doing it.
You think Mekhi Becton fits under that, or do you think the changing from tackle? Because when he was at tackle, he did not play well, but Philly moved him in, and he played outstanding. Are we worried about that, the one-hit wonder at guard, or do you feel confident? What if the Jags go after a guy like that to bring him in?
Well, I think he's proven that he can do it, and I think that's a big part of it. The hardest thing for me in evaluating college athletes going to the next level, I heard an interview with Nick Saban, and Nick Saban made this point. He said he was talking to his team, and he said to the team guys, do you realize that your talent is the biggest negative? Especially you young guys, because all of a sudden you didn't have to do anything in college.
Right.
And now all of us, he was talking about high school.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do anything in high school. And now everybody you're around is the same guy as you are.
True.
Are you going to be willing to do all the other things? And that's something that you really, you take it from the college level to the NFL. Hey, there's a big difference. You're talking about 1% of college athletes that play pro football.
No doubt.
To Mekhi Becton, your point on Mekhi Becton, an elite college player at Louisville, right?
True.
Is a tackle in the NFL initially. I mean, flames out. Flames out.
For
what
4 years.
What I like about him is he got humbled.
He
moved inside.
Came back.
And became an all-pro player.
Okay.
That's what I like about
Totally
him.
fair.
So if they go after him, I'm thinking, all right, this guy's got his head on straight.
Well, I hope they go after an offensive lineman, whether a tackle or guard, and whether it's in the draft or free agency. What do you think their biggest need is? What would you say? Interior D-line or another O-line?
I mean, Tommy, Dave will tell you, these guys all made fun of me last year when I was just saying guard, first 2 picks of the draft. And I know Brian Thomas Jr. was a great pick. But if you're going to invest $275 million in your quarterback, you better protect him. And I think they need to protect him. They are not good right now in the middle three.
Would you be okay with a stud left tackle?
Yeah, they're average on the outside.
Yeah, I think they need another tackle. I mean, you're absolutely right. You got to protect Trevor at all costs, and you got to have a stud left tackle. We have an okay left tackle that may be good at times, maybe really good at times, but overall, I don't think you can count on that after so many years in the league.
Well, that's definitely the prime position. There's no question about it. And the thing that I agree with Matt on is, if you have some guys, for example, like we have on defense, the two outside guys, they're going to put enough pressure outside to force that quarterback to step up. And now I'm looking at it like the interior. When you say interior, I'll be excited if they took an interior guy or an interior defensive guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the pressure inside is the key to me.
Mahomes, if what's happening to him, he would step up and he'd run into his guys. There's nowhere for him to go whatsoever. So what offensive tackle do you like? Is it the kid out of LSU?
Yeah, Will Campbell is probably the best
for number 5. If we stay there, anything could happen.
He also could move inside too. He's also got to play guard. Yeah, but I will say this and this is the problem that I think is with not just this franchise specifically, but all. Like you going into the Chevy deal and you want a Suburban. I want that interior lineman. I want the Suburban. Okay.
Right.
And the draft starts, and all of a sudden, the quarterback comes by.
The
quarterback comes by. Travis Hunter falls, or someone you didn't think was going to fall. Squirrel, exactly. And then you go, all right, we can wait till round 2 to get an offensive lineman.
Right.
And then it just doesn't happen. To me, big guys are not grown.
No,
there are only so many big guys.
Yep. And they say in this year's draft, only about half of them really are first-round grades, whatever that means. I don't know, but not a heavy draft, I guess. How do you feel about the Jags right now, Coach? We're waiting on the GM. I was saying off air how it's funny, all these pictures of Tony walking with the candidates, and we just finished our interview, and they're all smiling, whatever. But how do you feel about it, and is there a pick that you would go with?
Well, first of all, marketing is the key to putting people in the stands. Right. And part of that marketing has to be what you do on the field. So it's a combination of the two. But having Tony Baselli over there, to me, is a plus. I mean,
for sure.
And I think he'll be a good bringing the pride back into the Jaguars. Now, on the other hand, as far as what you're going to pick, as I said earlier, I'll take either one of those. I'll take an interior lineman or a defensive interior guy. And I've watched Mason Graham play.
Right.
And let me tell you something. He can play.
And
that he's a bad man.
When you talk about Jones from Kansas City, and you talk about Carter from the Eagles. Those guys make a huge difference. So I'd be excited with I'm a defensive guy, so I'd like that pick.
40 pounds heavier than Braden Fisk, but he moves a lot like Braden Fisk.
He's also got an attitude, Tommy.
He's
on
a
both
dog.
Sides of the ball for this franchise.
They
need attitude. I want nasty guys on the lines of scrimmage.
I love both of them.
It sets the tone.
I love both of our outside guys, Trayvon and Josh. But neither one of them are what I would call dogs.
Right.
And we need a few dogs on defense.
Do we know what kind of defense Campanelli's going to run? Is it a 4-3?
He said it's 4-3, but they're going to be very multiple.
I mean, most of the time you're in a 4-man fight.
I watched a lot of Green Bay's films, and to me, sometimes both outside guys are standing up. Sometimes one outside guy's standing up. Sometimes they have 4 big defensive linemen in there. It just depends on which
some of that weight. Josh Allen. Heinz Allen, he got a little heavy. It was good for that 4-3 DM, but man, go back to that little bit lighter. Cisco, by the way, wink, wink, jump rope, do something. Are you okay with the safeties? Would you go after the kid from Miami? He's going to be a hot Holland, I think his last name.
But I don't.
Would you upgrade the safeties, or are you rolling with them?
I wouldn't pick a safety in the first 2 rounds. First 3 rounds. First 3 rounds for me are literally I am focusing on big people.
Big dudes.
Yes.
I
big
like
people.
I lean that way as well. I mean, I just think that and Matt says it all the time, which is great. I've said it in different ways, but he says how you affect the quarterback and protect the quarterback is the key.
Everything. We just saw it. And you're right about that player. So that wide receiver from Arizona, could be
Ted
creeping
McMillan.
around. Right?
He's said that a number of
People are gonna be
times.
like, oh, wait,
Right.
wait.
That's that
like,
squirrel
oh,
coming
yeah,
in,
that-
and he
that's
said
the
that
squirrel.
right along.
Right, but here's the thing. You want to talk about making Trevor better. What makes him better? Another weapon or better protection?
And running the football. That combination.
Well, that comes up with the line, too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Yeah, you need both.
He's missed multiple games in the last 2 seasons. I don't think
Multiple.
we have to start embracing that reality. He's getting hurt.
Yeah.
We're now wasting years with him.
Yep.
With each year that he doesn't play a full season, with
Yeah.
each year that they don't protect him
Yep.
and put pieces around him to make him reach his ceiling,
Yep.
you're wasting years of him.
Well, let me tell you this, as a guy that's had surgeries before, you're never back to 100%.
Right.
You can get to 99, 98,
Yeah.
but you'll never be 100% again.
Yeah.
And the mornings are never the same again, right? The morning afters are never the same again.
Yeah. All right, Matt, as we wrap up, what would you tell a young broadcaster out there looking to either get into radio, podcasts, and TV? What advice would you maybe give, or advice you'd give your younger self as you look back?
I can tell you this. One of my idols growing up was a writer named Shelby Struther. He passed away a long time ago.
Okay.
And when I was young, I met him, and what he told me really resonated, and still resonates today if you think about it. Read everything you can possibly read, because it makes you more aware of your surroundings, of your world.
Yep.
It makes you more aware of what people go through. It makes you more aware of life in general. And of course, you're building your knowledge of whatever specific sport you're covering. But you're also building your knowledge of what's happening away from the field. And I think that's very important for other people to
It's that
coalesce
preparation that you have. It's constant preparation, right? If you're prepared, you don't get nervous. You might have a little, anxiety, like anxiousness for things to get going and started, but you're not nervous because you've already done the homework.
and you got it in your head.
You got it in your head.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Coach, how about you? Someone getting into coaching, or what would you tell your younger self? You got any advice for your younger self?
Well, the one thing I would say is this: preparation. That's the word, in my opinion. I think sometimes the younger guys today, we used to have to write everything up on the board.
Yeah.
And when you're teaching, you're drawing. Every time you do something, you learn something. And today they got the PowerPoint and all this stuff, where a guy comes in. Okay, we're going to teach cover 3, and looks up at the board and says, stay deeper than the deepest, whatever it is. Instead of saying, hey, look, here it is. Here's how we have to do it. So, when I look at myself going back, I think the preparation was pretty good. Yeah. And I think that's a big part of it, for sure.
By the way,
reading is...
he teaches us, by the way, in between segments, he will literally break down a play and say, look, if you're here and his shoulder's here, so he's very
Well,
big
what's great
on
about coaching, if I may, he's that old school, fair, black and white.
Right.
It's either good or it's not good. There's no if this, if that. It's like, no, look, you got a job. Here's your job. Do your job. Did you do it or not? That's all anybody really wants. I know that's all I want.
That's all life should be.
Right, exactly. Right, just here it is. You do it. You don't do it. You decide if you're prepared or not. You give an effort or not. You're going to get through the grit. Bring the adversity, all that kind of stuff. So. That's what I like about you.
And if you don't, someone else will.
Somebody else will.
Kind of the reality.
There's always somebody that wants it just as bad as you do. All right, fellas, thanks so much for being here. Of course, you can catch Matt and Coach each and every Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on 1010XL, of course, with Joe C. and Big Leon Searcy for XL Prime Time. You can also check out this conversation with them and all types of conversations that we have right here at my bar. Just go to the dailynewsnetwork.com website. Till next time, y'all stay safe out there and be cool. And go Jags. We'll see you next time right here on the Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
Cheers.